Dashrath Manji was born in 1929 in a small village in northwestern India. Dashrath and his villagers were at the lowest rung of the Indian caste system. The village was very, very poor. And one thing that made this village unique was that it was bordered to the south by a very steep quartzite ridge, an impassable ridge. The nearest town was only 9 miles away from this village, but because of this impassable ridge, travelers were forced to go 35 miles around the mountain if they wanted to go to the nearby town. Well, one day while Dashrath was working, his wife was bringing him lunch and she fell and she injured herself. The injury wasn't life-threatening, but it did require the attention of a doctor. So somebody set out on foot to make the 35-mile journey to the nearby town to find a doctor. 35 miles one way, 35 miles back. And while they were waiting for the doctor, Dashrath's wife became ill and her condition worsened. And that minor injury that she suffered ended up taking her life because a doctor just couldn't get to her quick enough. Dashrath couldn't believe that help was so close and yet so far away. He couldn't stand to let another member of his community go through what he went through. So shortly after his wife's death, Dashrath resolved to build a road across the quartzite ridge to make the impassable journey passable. The only problem was Dashrath was very poor. He didn't have the tools or the equipment necessary to build a road. So he took his hammer and he took his chisel and he set out to carve a 9-mile road through a mountain. His neighbors made fun of him. "What do you hope to accomplish? What do you think you're doing?" they would say. But Dashrath kept working, alone and in silence, with his hammer and his chisel. And he did this until 1982, 22 years after he started chiseling away at the side of the mountain. He found himself on the other side. He had cut a road to the nearby town, which immediately improved the quality of life for all of his neighbors, for everyone living in that village. Tirelessly, he had labored and he achieved his goal. Paul tells the church at Galatia in Galatians chapter 6, "Let us not grow weary for doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." So then, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to everyone. These past few months have a lot of us weary. And sometimes when we're down, there just doesn't seem to be any kind of hope or reason or logic or victory in getting up and doing all the things that we know we should be doing. Because life hurts. It hurts really bad sometimes. And those are the times that Paul is encouraging us to get up, to put one foot in front of the other, and to breathe in and to breathe out, and to get our hammer and to get our chisel and put the work in today. Put that work in that doesn't seem to be making a difference, because one day it's going to make all the difference. Don't get weary. Get energized, in fact. Energized in what we're working towards, bettering ourselves for kingdom living. I'm convinced that we can set our hearts and that we can set our minds into making the rest of 2020 one of the best years we've ever had. We can make 2020, the rest of 2020, amazing and blessed. And when we look back on 2020, we can say, yeah, there were hard times, but man, we were really blessed. We really grew from that. We've got to keep that attitude. We've got to take that hammer and we've got to take that chisel with us every day and keep chipping towards the end of the year, not growing weary, working together, celebrating our love and our unity and what bonds us together. I love you. I hope you have a great day.